What is going on? It's Nate and I'm back with another video. Today I'm talking about why you can have anything that you want. You truly can have anything, and I'm going to go into why it is that you can have anything and how you can get whatever it is that you do want. So first things first, I highly recommend you watch my last video. I was talking about the law of relativity and how everything just is, and then your comparison is what makes it so, right? The way you perceive things determines the way that they make you feel, right? And like Bob would always say, I forget who quoted it, but he would say in his videos, when you change the way you see things, the things you see will change. So here I have my stick, not my stick figure, this is not my creation, but the stick figure drawing, right? Bob Proctor uses this a lot. He got it from someone else, who I'm sure got it from someone else. But this is the best picture we can have of the mind, right? Because the mind is not a physical thing. It is not something you can see or touch. So we need an image of what it looks like. Even though this isn't exactly what it does look like, it just gives you an idea of how things work, right? So first we have up top the conscious mind, which is your thinking mind. That is where your knowledge is stored, right? So if you read a book and it tells you some information, that is sitting in your conscious mind. And then your subconscious mind, that is your emotional mind. A lot of people would refer to that as your heart, your spirit. There's so many different names for it, but that is basically who you are. That is your habits that your habits that create who you are, right? The reason you write with your left hand, the reason you get up at this time or that time or do this or do that, because of the way you're conditioned, right? So your subconscious mind is your habits, your conditioning, your beliefs, all, that side of you. So it's who you are, and your conscious mind is what you know, right? Which are typically very different. A lot of times we know what to do, but we don't do it, right? But that's a different thing. And then here we have the body, right? So the reason the mind is so huge and the body is so small is because you have to realize the body is just an instrument of the mind, right? So the mind tells your body what to do. Your body does it. Your body does not care what it tells it to do. It will just do it, right? If your mind says do this, it does it. Your body can't question it because your mind is the boss, the commander, right? And then your body then moves into action, right? So you tell yourself, oh, I want to make more money, and then you get emotionally involved in that. You start to vibrate at a higher rate, right? You start to think about money. How can I make money? How can I make money? And then these ideas start to come to you, right? Because you're in that higher vibration. So you're attracting new thoughts, and then your body then leads you to do these actions naturally, which then get you new results, right? So basically, you have this thought power flowing into your mind, right? Which just is. And so everything just is. Nothing's good, nothing's bad, nothing's high, nothing's low, nothing's small, nothing, like everything just is. And then you get to choose, okay, based off my beliefs, this is big, this is small, this is a lot, this is a little, right? Because, like, for example, $10,000 could be a ton of money to you, or it could be nothing. And then the person next to you could have a completely different opinion, right? Because there's no right or wrong, it just is. And then we get to choose how we perceive it, right? That's a mental faculty. We're able to perceive things, perception. And so let me explain why this shows that you can have anything you want, right? So if everything just is, right? So I don't know, if you're into cars, the Lamborghini, the McLaren, the Ferrari, or if you're into homes, the $2 million, $10 million, $50 million home, or the private jet, I don't know, whatever it is that you want, you have to realize that it just is, right? So the Ferrari just is, right? The Rolex just is. Everything just is. But what happens is we put these things on this pedestal, right? So we're like, oh, the Ferrari's up here and the Chevy's down here. And when we put things on a pedestal, you're looking at it from below, right? You're looking at it as something greater than you, which you can never have something you don't already have, right? And what I mean by that is in vibration. So if you think that you don't deserve that Ferrari, you're not going to deserve that Ferrari. You're not going to get it. But if you feel like if you embody the personality of someone who has a Ferrari, you will get the Ferrari, right? I can't tell you when, I can't tell you how it will happen, when it will come, but I can tell you it will happen if you do things correctly. If you don't do things correctly, if you don't follow the laws, if you don't embody that personality, it won't happen, right? So a lot of people will be like, oh, this doesn't work, these laws don't work. No, the truth is, if you're not getting the results that you want, then you are making a mistake, because the laws are perfect. If I drop this pen, if I throw my phone in the air, we know that they're going to fall back down. We're not questioning, oh, I wonder if it's going to fall if I throw it. We're not questioning, oh, is the sun going to come up today? Oh, is it going to go down tonight? Oh, is the moon out? Like, you don't question these things, right? Because they happen in order. And that is the same way the laws of the universe work. They work in perfect order. In perfect order, there's a law of perpetual transmutation, right? Which states that any idea held in the mind, which is either feared or revered, right? So any idea you hold in the mind, so if you say, I want the Ferrari, and it's feared or revered, right? So you get emotionally involved with that. Whether you think something good is about to happen, you feel like it's going to happen, or you're worried about something bad that could happen and you're fearing that it will happen, that alters the rate of vibration of your body, which then causes you to take certain actions, which leads to certain results, right? So if you plug in this idea in your mind, oh my gosh, things are going to go bad, your body's now in the state of worry and fear and anxiety, which is then causing you to take actions that probably go against what you should be doing because you're acting out of fear, right? So if you study the science of getting rich, it talks about that there's a way of doing things in a certain way. If you do things in a certain way, you will get rich. If you are not rich, you are not doing things in a certain way. It works by law, right? Everything works by law. There is an exact science to getting rich, to achieving anything, to doing anything. Because if there was not an exact law, we would not all have equal opportunity, equal chance, right? Do we all have different circumstances, different backgrounds, started with this money or that money, or live here or live there? It doesn't matter, because like it says in the program of The Science of Getting Rich, or the book, it talks about how if no matter where you are right now, if you begin to do things in a certain way, you will infallibly get rich. And if you do not get rich, it is because you are not doing things in a certain way. So what I am saying is the power is in you, and the pressure is on you, not anyone else, not your job, not your boss, not where you grew up, not your conditioning, not how much money you have. None of that matters, because if you do things in a certain way, it does not matter where you are, you can lift to this higher level. Now, I am way off topic. Let me jump back to it. So if you can agree that everything just is, right? If you went and asked someone how much is a lot of money, you asked 1,000 different people how much is a lot of money, they would all probably give you different answers. Some people might say the same, but for the most part, everybody will kind of have a different idea of a lot, or abundance, or rich, or wealthy, right? So you have to realize that there's no amount of money that is a lot. There's no amount that is a little. Everything just is, right? Everything is. So if you understand that everything just is, then the biggest problem we face is we don't view things equally. We view the Ferrari, the Rolex, the car, the house, the trip, the vacation as these higher ups, when in reality, everything is all made of the same thing. That Ferrari you want does in the spiritual world, it doesn't matter how much stuff costs. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters in the spiritual world. All you have to know is what you want, and you have to assume it into position. You have to assume that it is already yours, and that very thing is already moving into form, right? So let me explain why this is, or how you can even test this. So I was listening to Bob. I had a pretty long drive yesterday. I was listening to one of his seminars, and he was talking about how once you plant the image in your mind, it is instantly moving into form, right? So if you plant this image in your mind, if you close your eyes and you plant this image of whatever you want, like assuming you're driving the car you want, you're getting a deposit of $50,000, whatever it is that you want, right? Assume that. Just imagine yourself receiving that right now. Imagine yourself buying that car. They hand you the keys. Imagine that check coming in. Imagine them, whatever it is that you want, right? You can feel yourself start to get excited. You can feel yourself, what it is a higher rate of vibration, right? You can feel things raise. You're now operating at a higher level because that image is immediately moving into form. And if you hold that state, we know that like energy attracts like energy, then that must move toward you. So literally all you have to do, and this is why Bob would always say, if you tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. Because this is all you have to do. You have to decide on exactly what you want. And you have to understand that the thing you want is just energy. This Yeti is energy. This mouse is energy. This pen is energy. This pen is energy. This wire is energy. Everything is energy. So if we understand that like energy attracts like energy, then it doesn't matter how big or small it may appear, or how expensive or how cheap it may be. All that matters is you decide on what you want and you assume it into position. What does assumption mean? Assumption means, right, if you're like, oh, I assume they'll be late, I assume the money will come in, right? You make these assumptions, which usually is creating the fact. Usually when you assume someone will be late, they end up being late. Usually when you assume the money will come because you are assuming it. So what you do is you assume things that are not yet physical, because you understand that once you get an idea spiritually, and you get emotionally involved in it, that then immediately moves into form. That's why you change your rate of vibration. That's why you can get excited. That's why you can feel these emotions. Oh my gosh, the money's coming in. I'm fully booked. I have so many clients. My business is blowing up. I've got 50,000 right? You can think all these thoughts and you start to be like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. And you can get excited because it is instantly moving into form. And the way that you get that to physically manifest is to hold that state. That is the biggest thing of this all. I'm not even on the right topic, but that is what you have to do. You have to hold the state. So you have to decide on exactly what you want. Understand that it doesn't matter if it's big or small or if it's a lot or a little, because everything just is. But you need to know exactly what you want. You can't want it because it's cheaper or you think you can afford it or this or that. You need to want what you actually want, because that is what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. If you are going after what you truly want, that will make it easy to wake up. That will make it easy to do the things you don't want to do, because you have that image of what you really want. So you need to really take a lot of time and spend time thinking about, what do I really want? Where do I really want to live? How much do I really want to earn? What do I want to do to earn this money, right? There's no such thing as something for nothing. So you need to always understand, okay, if I want more out of life, then I'm going to have to give more. And giving doesn't just mean giving out money. Giving means your energy. You are putting more energy behind the actions. You are thinking differently behind your actions. You are providing more value. You need to increase your output if you want to increase your, not input, I guess. I guess you increase your input to get more out. I don't know. Anyways, too confusing. So what you need to do is realize that there's no big or small, there's no a lot or a little. You need to know what you truly want. And you know what you truly want if you figure out what you want and you can explain why you want it. If you can't explain why you want it, then you probably don't want it. Because if you're hungry and you want food, you can explain that you want food because you're really hungry and your body needs it, right? But if you say, oh, well, I want this watch, and it's like, well, why do you want it? I don't know, right? Then it's like, okay, well, you don't really want it. But if you want it, you're like, well, this has been a goal since I was little. This is going to signify, this achievement that I'm getting. It's basically a trophy. Like, if you truly understand the value behind it, your sentimental value behind what it is that you want, if you want the bigger house because you want to grow your family, then you know why you want that thing. But if you're just wanting it to say you want it, it's not going to do anything. You're not going to really want it, and you're going to give up really quickly. So decide on what you truly want. That is the main message of this video. You have to know what you truly, truly, truly want. Not what you think you can get, not what you know how to get. You need to decide on what you really want. Understand that there is going to be a delay. You are not going to get it instantly. It is not going to be easy. There's going to be trials and tribulations. You're going to be tested. But everything just is. So if you think it's crazy, if you don't think you're going to get it, you won't. But the truth is, it's just as easy to get the mansion as it is to get the condo. It's just as easy to get the Ferrari as it is to get the Chevy, because you just have to lock into that. Your mind is going to try to talk you out of it. It's going to try to uncondition you. It's going to try to get you to not want those things. It's going to tell you, oh, you can't get that. You don't know how to get that. But when you repetitiously plant these ideas, you get emotionally involved in it. You see yourself driving that Lambo. You see people coming up to you and asking you to take pictures with it. You see people wanting to sit in your car. You see people looking at you when you drive by. You see people coming up and telling you, man, I like your car. You see this. You get emotionally involved in it. You really feel like it is real and you already have it. That very emotion with that imagination is what will create that implementation, the imprint on your subconscious mind. Because if you are seeing yourself driving it, you're seeing people come up to you, you're seeing people say, man, I like your car. You see yourself posting it on social media and you get emotionally involved in that. That goes into your emotional mind, which is your subconscious mind, which causes your vibration, that causes your rate of vibration. And as you continue to get emotionally involved in that, you will then make that your new normal. You will normally feel like that person. You won't have to consciously think about it. And so that's the goal, is you want to become conscious of your unconscious. So you want to become aware of what you are currently thinking, and then you want to plant new thoughts. Now you are going to think like the person you want to become, and then you want to think that for so long that becomes your unconscious. Now you're naturally someone who has a Lambo. You're naturally someone who's in a state of gratitude. You're naturally someone who has an abundance of money, right? You naturally become that person, but you have to unlearn, you have to learn, you have to become aware, then you have to unlearn, and then you have to relearn, and then you have to go back unconscious, right? So you become aware of what you're thinking, and then you change what you're thinking, and then you habitually think that new pattern, which then it becomes your new way of thinking without thinking about it, right? Because 95% of the time you're not thinking. 95% of the time you're just going out of habit. So when you habitually are working toward your goals, that's when you're going to get them. But if you are consciously working toward them, that is 5% of your action. So 5% of the time you'll be moving towards your goal. 95% of the time you'll probably be going against it, right? So understand that you can have anything you want. Everything just is. When you close your eyes and you see the car you want, you don't have to pay for that. If you close your eyes and you see the car you want, the red Ferrari, and you change it to purple, to green, to orange, you change the color of it, You are not having to pay for a new paint job. You're not having to take it to the shop because everything's already existent spiritually. So you don't have to worry about how it's going to come. You don't have to worry about how much it costs. What you have to worry about, or not worry, but what you need to focus on is holding the image. Hold the image, because if you hold the image here, right? You hold this image of this car, and you get emotionally involved in it. Now that car is going to be here, and now your body is going to be on a new vibration. Now you're going to be taking new actions, and then you're going to get new results. It all starts in the mind, but people try to change the mirror. You can't change the mirror. The world is a shadow. It is a reflection. So if you want to change the world, you have to change inside. If you want to get more, you have to give more. You can't wait to get more. You can't wait for more to come to give more. You need to give more now, and that's what will bring more. Right? It's the upside down kingdom. You have to feel the feelings that will bring the item. You can't wait for the item to feel the feelings. You can't expect the money to fulfill you. You have to feel fulfilled, and that will bring the money. You give and then you get. Give your feelings, give your emotion, give your thoughts, give your energy, give your actions. That is what will bring you more. When people think of giving, they all just think about physically doing something, giving money, giving this, giving that. That's not what it is. Giving is all of your energy. It is who you are. What are you bringing to the table? How are you thinking? How are you feeling? How are you acting? That is what you're giving. And based on what you put out is what you're going to get back. But at any point in time, you could change what you put out, and that will change what you get back. But there's a delay period. It's not going to be instant. So when you start changing your mind, you have to realize there's a time where you're going to be telling yourself you're someone who you aren't yet physically, but you are spiritually. People will think you're crazy. People will talk crap about you. People will say, oh, he's not that. He's pretending to be that. Whatever. Fake it till you make it. Whatever they want to say. But if you are not willing to do the actor's technique, where you become the person you want to become before you have the physical results, you will never get those results, because you have to give before you get. You have to give before you get. If you want to get more, you got to give more. It's simple. So decide on exactly what you want. Exactly. Don't allow your limitations to, pull you back. Get relaxed, get in a relaxed state, and just allow yourself to, wander, daydream, whatever it is that you want to do. Just really see yourself living the life you want to live, because what you truly want is what will get you excited. That is what will keep you working toward it. But if you are just thinking about what you need, that does not bring any excitement. That does not do anything spiritually. When you need something, when someone really needs something and they beg you for it, you're like, get away, right? Shut up. People hate begging. So you can't be a beggar. You have to own it. You have to become it. So if you're constantly begging, God, give me this, give me this, give me this, he's like, dude, obviously, yeah, he's not talking like this, but you have to realize, if you're begging for it, you're saying, I don't have this and I really want it. I don't have it and I really want it. And that's exactly what's keeping it away from you. But when you embody it and you say, that's who I am, I know that's coming, I'm grateful for it because I can already see it, it's already mine, that is when you'll get it, because you are giving before you get. Giving with your thoughts, giving with your feelings, giving with your emotions, giving with your actions, giving with your beliefs, giving with your perceptions. And all of that will come back to you in a like manner. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. Please, please, please take time to really think about what you want. And when you think you know what you want, live a day in the life in your mind. Go through that day. What will the day look like? How are you going to spend the whole day? Because for me, I was like, oh, I want to move down south. I didn't think about the fact that I would be alone most of the time. I don't like being alone. Right? Because I didn't get, I had a clear vision, but I didn't really ensure that it's what I truly wanted. I didn't really see all of the logistics of it. I got it. I got exactly what I wanted. I moved where I wanted to move. I go to the gym I want to go to, right? I'm doing it. And then I realized, this isn't what I want. I like community. I like family. I like friends, right? I like that aspect of things. I don't want to be alone all the time. And so, you have to become clear. If I do this, what will my family life look like? How will it be with friends? How will it be with this or that? Really think about it. Because you can have anything you want. You truly can. Anybody can have anything they want. But make sure it's what you really do want, because you'll get it. That's why they say, careful what you wish for. It's true, because you literally will get what you want. Literally. You can get anything you want. You do get what you want. But what people think is they think they get what they want in the sense of, oh, I want money. Oh, yeah, I didn't get the money. No, you get what you are. So when you become that person, when you are a millionaire in spirit, emotionally, intellectually, physically, you're acting like that person, that is what attracts the money. You get what you are. And so when you become who you want to be, that is what will bring that into your life. So understand there is no limit to what you can do. Everything is all made of the same thing. Everything is equal. Every single thing is equal. It's just energy vibrating at different speeds. So don't look at things on a pedestal. Don't look at the house and be like, wow. You're telling yourself that is above my standards. You have to normalize everything. Okay, it's the same thing that, that house I want. It's the same thing as this light bulb right here. It's just energy. Right? When you really take things down to this level and you realize there's not going to be exterior fulfillment from that. But when you become someone who already has what you want and you understand it's not hard to get because it's all the same thing. It's just as hard as going to the store and getting a water. It's all the same thing. But your mind accepts that you can do that. Your mind doesn't accept the fact that you can go buy the mansion or buy the Ferrari or whatever. So when you plant these images in your subconscious mind by getting emotionally involved in it, by making it think that it's real, you are bringing that into a part of who you are, which will then allow you to receive it physically. So, hope this video helped, and I will catch you guys in the next video.